What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Gotians Games and welcome to another video on SAO Alicization Rising Steel. That's a mouthful. But today we have some new screenshots regarding the game, which I'm really excited to take a look at with you guys and talk about. So make sure you guys are hitting that like button, subscribing if you guys are new. Now let's talk about Alicization Rising Steel. Alright guys, so first things first, kind of skipped ahead there. Alright, first things first. It looks like we got a ton of new screenshots that I actually got from the live stream that they did for Memory Defrag's 3rd anniversary, or is it 4th anniversary, whatever, for their anniversary, and for their release that's coming up for Alicization Rising Steel. So looking at this, there's a lot of things that I like, a couple of things that I've speculated before about, and a couple things that I don't like, even though I did mention it before. So first things first is just looking at this screenshot right here. Things that I like the simplicity of the overworld hub. And when I say the overworld hub, as you can see right down here, the one with Alice, that is the home screen. Okay, so on the home screen, you have your quest for your main story. You have events that happen. And then you have what looks like ordinal scale. What? We'll talk about that one in a minute. You also have scouts and your party. So the party, I'm assuming, is the menu that you go into to build your team. The scout, obviously, that's where you go and summon for your characters. So this is 100% a gacha game. Now, it's to be seen whether or not the rates are going to be horrendous, or how it's going to work, if there's going to be guaranteed multis, it's going to be step up. Like, we don't know any of that information as of yet. There's also a couple other things on the left hand side that you can see. There's a home button, what looks like a targeting hammer, so I don't know if that has anything to do with building your overworld. I don't know what that is, to be honest with you. And then you have what looks like a trader shop. You have your gift box, your news information, which is all on the top, and then you have your main menu, which is in the upper right hand corner. On the top, you also see AP. Now AP, I'm kind of I don't like the way that looks, and the reason why I say I don't like the way that looks is because that looks like stamina. Okay, and because you see AP and then you see 133 out of 133, to me that looks like stamina. So you're most likely going to be restricted on how much stamina you can use, and then you would have to, what looks like when you hit the plus button, to refresh your stamina or add more stamina. Now, some games aren't really bad when it comes to stamina, but Bandai games can be bad when it comes to stamina. Look at Dragon Ball Dokkan Battle and Naruto Blazing for an example of bad stamina. Now, they have made improvements throughout the years, but it took them years to make improvements. So I'm hoping that it's not going to cost like 5+ minutes for one stamina in this game. I'm hoping that if they're, if that is in fact a stamina bar, I'm hoping that that stamina bar is 2 to 3 minutes for one stamina. I'd be okay with that. That's fine. So going to the left, or I'm sorry, going to the right image, you see your party, Kirito. I was gonna say Asuna, Kirito, Alice, and Yu-Gi-Oh. This we've seen before. We went over this before. You have an attack command, a stay command, which looks like your defense. So when you hit the your stay command, it puts up a barrier. You have your assault, which is your special move. You have your break to fight enemies who are in defense mode to break their shields. And you have a third slot, which looks to be an item slot or maybe another ability slot. And then incarnate to activate your special abilities, or your super attacks. I can't think what it's called off the top of my head. Basically, when they release their weapons. Okay, so moving forward, let's go to the next screen here. Right here, we see Yu-Gi-Oh and Kirito, or Yu-Gi-Oh and Kirito, in a screenshot there. That's part of the main storyline. You see right there, break link chance. I'm not entirely sure what that means yet, and until we get more information, we won't be able to to talk about that a little bit more. But down below, you see Kirito running. We've seen video of that, and it looks like it's either or not either. It looks like it might be a dungeon crawling aspect of it. I hope that it's free range, that we can control it. I think that'd be really cool, similar to how games like Epic 7 work, or Danmachi, where you can control where your characters move in the dungeon. So I think that'd be a lot of fun to add that little bit of exploration to it, instead of like memory defrag, where it's just all linear going to the next stage. Also, we have another screenshot regarding the story that we know is going to center around the Alicization arc. Next screenshot here, we have what looks to be other story events. So going through this, we will be able to access the original SAO story, ALO story, and GGO stories within this game, similar to how Memory Defrag does it. Now, the reason why I wanted to go back to this screenshot, because ordinal right here, that might in fact be, whoops, too far. That might in fact be this part right here, or this could be under the events tab. We won't know until it happens, but it's nice to know that this game is going to have that much content in it, and it's not just strictly going to be Alicization. In a sense, this almost feels like a revamped version of Memory Defrag with more RPG elements to it, instead of the action-based combat that is currently in Memory Defrag. So this is exciting. I like this. I like the fact that the game is going to have that much content in it. Next screenshot here, we have images that we've had before. Another screenshot of Eugeo, Kirito, and Alice there. But in this circumstance, you see the incarnate 100%, so you can release your weapon for the to do the special ability. Also, we get a glimpse of Alice attacking an enemy, and it looks like enemies will have weaknesses. So that's something to take a look at. Now, underneath me right here, this image right here, with Kirito and an opponent that he's fighting, it says tap to skip. That is Kirito activating his incarnate ability and releasing his weapon skill. So that's why it says tap to skip. It gives us the option to skip the animations if we don't want to sit down and watch them, because maybe by that time we've watched them a million times and we're like, okay, all right, I just kind of want to go on with the battle. So that's, you know, that's a nice little feature that they have there. That's something that honestly a game like Dokkan Battle needs to put in there, but whatever. Next screenshot here, Assault. So this looks like your attack phase, or your, I'm sorry, not attack phase, but your skill set. So Assault skill set, they went ahead and talked about it. Now, I don't speak Japanese, so I don't know exactly what they say. All I can do is make speculation. Every enemy has a weakness, and from what it looks like, it will tell you if the enemy will be weak to your Assault skill. So Assault does take MP cost, and every character has their own MP bar. And so in this case, Kirito's Assault skill takes 32 MP. Now, obviously, if you don't want to do Assault, you can just attack, or you can do Break. So there's different options here. But Break, you would only use if the enemy is in defense mode. So right here at the top, I'll move my my camera really quick. You see ABC 3. Now, I don't know what exactly that means, except for the fact that when we're going back down to the Assault, the Break, and the third skill, that's your ABC skills right there. That's the only thing I can think of, or your ABC for enemies. So going to the next screenshot here, Break. Now this one is kind of self-explanatory. You use Break when an enemy is shielding themselves or guarding themselves. You use it to break their guard. So when you do it, it will, I believe it has a percentage to break their, I don't think it's 100% to break their guard, but looking right here, I mean, you can't, it's a little bit blurry, but it looks like, for example, Alice's break skill is a magic attack, and it does a percentage down. I'm gonna assume it's actually looks like it says magic attack 10% down to the enemy, which is really cool. So you break their guard and you inflict a debuff onto them as well. So something to keep in mind, there's a bit of strategy within the game, which I'm all for. I'm super excited that this game will have a somewhat of a in-depth combat system to it from what it looks like. Going to the next screenshot here, we see more of the enemy weaknesses. We see charge skills. So not only is there a assault skill, you have a charge skill. Not everybody has the same skill set apparently, which is very nice. I like that. So let me go back really quick. So you see Alice right here. Alice has assault, break, and what looks to say buff. Where if we went to Kirito had assault, break, and no third skill on that set. Now going to Yujiro here, he has a charge skill, I have no idea what that says. Oh, heal. So he has a charge skill, a heal skill, and no third skill. So every character is different, and they don't all have the same attack or assault, break, and whatnot. So you would have to then organize your parties to make sure that you have somebody who can break defenses. You have somebody who can heal your party, somebody who does assault damage. So there's right there leading more into the in-depth gameplay that I was hoping we would see, and it looks like that's actually a reality. So very, very nice touch to building your teams and doing it properly, because it brings more to the RPG elements for me, because I grew up playing turn-based RPGs like Final Fantasy and so on and so forth, Pokemon and stuff like that. But Final Fantasy specifically, and the reason why I say Final Fantasy specifically, because Final Fantasy, we know from throughout the years that it's a party system. Now, more so the old games versus, as compared to the new games, the old games, you had to have a healer, you had to have characters to do magic damage. Like, you had to build your party properly that would fit your needs, and that's what this game looks like it's doing, and it looks like it's gonna be really well done, and I'm super glad for it. So you have assault, break, and charge, healing, buffing. What else do we have? Man, I'm so excited for this. And it looks like the charge attack, it's an actual attack. So we look right here, we can see a screenshot of Yujiro doing the attack. Now moving forward, we get to see their release skills. So obviously we've seen a little bit of this in gameplay footage. We see Alice releasing her sword, Yujiro releasing his weapon, and then Kirito releasing his. Now, the weapon that this Kirito has specifically is not his final weapon that we see, the what is it, the Midnight Blade, or whatever it's called. So it's not the final weapon from the anime. This is more likely just a generic sword, or maybe his training sword. Oh no, he didn't have a training sword, he had his sword. So maybe just a regular sword, on this version of Kirito. Next, we get to see them doing switch combinations, which we've seen in gameplay trailers. So we're gonna go on to the next image here. This is more of the switch combination. They do a final attack in their switch, so it looks like they probably all attack at one, individually, and then they go and attack together, which is great. I can't wait to see the different combinations that you can do with different characters, especially as they bring in other characters from like previous SAO titles and whatnot. So that would be really, really exciting to see going forward. All right, so for promotional material, they went ahead and announced that there's going to be a Kirito figure, which looks good, like for real. Looks really good. We had 2 screenshots of there. This is the other one, like the actual figure itself. Looks really good. I would like be willing to pick this up just because like I like the figures. I mean, like, let's be real here. I like them. Some of them are really, really well done, and some more than others. And not only is there a Kirito one, but there's also a Yu-Gi-Oh one. So the Kirito one, in my opinion, looks better than this one does. This one looks, I don't know. It looks too toy-like. I guess that's the best way I could put it. It looks too toy-like. It doesn't, like, it doesn't look like a figure. It looks more like a posable action figure, you know, where it's like it's more like a toy instead of a figure that you can display. Where the Kirito, like he looks really good as far as like the design of his figure goes. But that's gonna be it for the video. I know it's rather long. We had a lot of stuff that that we could take a look at today. So I do appreciate you if you made it this far. Make sure you're hitting that like button, subscribing if you guys are new, and stay tuned for more info on the different games that are dropping. So I will catch you all later. You guys have a great rest of your day. Stay cool, guys.